Hello everyone, the most recent patch in Marvel Snap changed a couple of our underperforming on reveals into Activate. But before I get into that, I am live right now on twitch.tv/TLSG Snap, so if you like live form content, jump over there, pause this video, come back to it later. I would love to have you guys. But as far as the card changes go, so the first one being Black Swan, I think it's just going to be as good. I don't think it really makes it insane, because now you can stage it early. It's a lower cost card, but you can still only activate it one time, and so it kind of gives the opponent the info that you're going to be exploding some one costs on a turn upcoming soon. And then we also have Hellcow going from a 4/8 on reveal to a 4/6 on activate. Discard 2 cards from your hand. So this is going to be, in my opinion, for Hela, a better Corvus, because with Corvus you don't typically need the extra energy unless you end up not going with the Hela line. But with how many cards we have in like Blink, Jubilee, you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get to Hela by the end of the game almost every single time. And with the way that this deck is structured, we don't have the randomness of, oops, we accidentally discarded Hela, or we have Hela in hand, so now we can't discard many cards by the end of the game. We have our Blade, controlled discard. Lady Sif, a relatively controlled discard, especially if you have Death. If not, and you have her in hand, you might hold on to her if she's in deck and you drop Jubilee. Sometimes that's going to be a bit of a Hail Mary that you might want to hold off on. Otherwise, you know exactly what it's going to potentially discard. It's not a completely random effect. We have Hellcow now that is play it and then activate it later, which is so strong for Hela. You can play this on 4 or 5. The only downside with activate is now we can't play it on turn number 6, but we weren't going to be doing that with Hela anyways, and so it doesn't hurt us in any way, shape, or form. So now we can at least guarantee that we discard about 4 cards per game, if not more. If we hit a better line, we could discard the 2 from Hellcow, the 1 from Lady Sif, Blade, and a Black Cat, and maybe flip into something bigger with a Blink. So we have a lot of emphasis and impact on being able to put a high amount of power out on the board very consistently. During my testing with this on PC, I played a little bit on my phone to do some early testing, and it did fantastic there as well. But I went 7-2, so relatively low sample size. But I'm telling you guys, Hellcow is potent at the activate ability, whether in a Hela discard or an Apocalypse. It is fantastic in both. And overall, the deck runs very, very well. You could probably sub out Giganto for Red Hulk if you wanted something a little bit higher. You have the Magneto that you could also do the same, but I do like the disruption that Magneto adds from time to time, making the opponent's cards a little bit less optimal whenever they end up on the board. But overall, fantastic list. I expect to see a lot of this. We're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope you guys enjoy. Now Giganto and Magneto. My gut tells me Hela into the mid. All right, so Enchantress comes down. Okay, Luke Cage is gone. Bit unfortunate. But they also take away their blue Marvel, which is not marvelous. We need a good, healthy stack into Aunt May's. And so we'll see if we're able to make that happen. We have the Magneto, the Giganto. Okay, good start. Great start. That's all we needed. We didn't need any more. And then Magneto over to the right to add insult to injury. We will gladly take the 4 cubes against the silly Arjun player. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, first up we have Dorkpool. The first location is Project Pegasus, so we can get out our Giganto, our Magneto, which I think I'm going to go ahead and play the Giganto just so that we have the base power on the board, and we can kind of update and go from there. See, Black Swan coming in at the 2-cost activate now. So I think a lot of people are going to be experimenting with that. I personally think the Hellcow change is bananas, and it's going to make things like Apocalypse discard, or what I'm wanting to try today and what I'm running today is the Hela discard angle, because I think it completely replaces Corvus in this list, because you don't typically need all of the extra energy in a Hela list, especially if you can almost guarantee that you'll get Hela down during most of the games. So the Acid Arrow comes into play. We do have our Hellcow. Let's go Lady Sif right. I'm just hoping they don't get another Clutter Tool. But with the Black Swan with Kate Bishop, I'm thinking they could have like a White Widow. If we see a snap, We have to rethink our play, rethink if we want to stay or not. But as far as everything else goes, I think we can still get a decent amount of power on the board. We might just have to throw a Hail Mary and hope for the best in the Savage Land. All right, so they do get the extra card draw, unfortunately. But we do get our Lady Sif down. Infinite is now gone, and he is not going to be a problem for us until later. We have Hell Cow. That's going to be that kind of staged ability to discard cards right before Hela comes down. So it reminds me of a beta Hela build that I built with a Sarah as a turn 5 play. So even if you didn't discard a single card in the entire game, Sarah on 5, Hell Cow used to be 2 costs for those that didn't know. Hell Cow would be 1 cost. You could use that alongside your Hela, and it was some of the most fun swings I've ever had. This one is not quite to that degree because you have to have it on the board beforehand, but nonetheless, it is, I still think it's very, very strong. So we could activate it and then blink it away. And I just realized my deck tracker is not tracking what we've pulled out of our deck. So we've pulled out Giganto, Infinite, Magneto should still be in the deck. Or Hela. Is it too early to go blink? I'm going to activate the Hell Cow. We're going to blink it away and then see what happens. We have a 50-50 between Magneto or Hela. We'll see which one we hit. We do get Luke Cage discarded. So Magneto is still... Wait, not Magneto. It's guaranteed. Magneto's sitting in our hand. What are we doing? We do get the Luke Cage, the death. And so we have a really big left lane, a really formidable mid lane, and they do not get to pick up their Hit Monkey. Super unfortunate for them, but I'm not mad about it. Let's go Magneto to the right, just to throw the big body. We're going to see the retreat. Let's go ahead and take it. We'll jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Farming for Leagues. I think they forgot that we don't have a league right now. The first location is Westview, second one being Throne Room. We have all of our big stuff, like almost every single one of our big cards. But no Hela and no discard components. So Lady Sif comes down. Could be another Hela-esque deck, and I think we're okay with that. Let's go. Let's go Hell Cow into a second Hell Cow next turn. We get 4 discards on the final turn, and then we could either Jubilee to rotate it out. We could go to pull into the rest of our deck. Maybe we draw a Blink and we can rotate it out. We have a couple of cool lines that we can go with it. So we're going to go second Hell Cow. I'm going to throw it into the left lane just for giggles, and then we're going to see from there. Since we had Black Cat, we could make sure that we could still draw cards, which was fantastic. Do they resummon their Red Hulk here? They do. Because right now that's the only thing they've discarded. So big Red Hulk coming down in mid, and it's going to scale at least for this turn. We do get Blink. And so right now we have Magneto, Death, Infinite, Giganto. So all 4 of our big cards except for Hela are in hand. So Blink is a guaranteed rotation. Let's go 1, 2 discard, 3, 4 discard into the Blink rotation. And so then that will take Hell Cow out, guarantee that we bring Hela into the mix, and we'll be able to go from there. So they lose their Luke Cage, their Giganto, and I'm assuming they do have the Hela coming into play. Their Luke Cage, their Giganto. Let's see if we can outmatch it. Our Luke Cage gets discarded. Our Jubilee, okay, interesting. And then Death, we need something big. Infinite is perfectly big here. Blink to rotate our Hela into the, or Hell Cow into the guaranteed Hela. Too heavy in the left. Okay, perfect. I was gonna say too heavy in the right lane, but it just didn't even want to touch mid. It was too afraid of the Red Hulk. It'll dominate left. We'll dominate right, and we're gonna go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Awarded Usher, the first location, Gam Lab. We'll see. So many Hela mirror matches right now. But I do think we have one of the better lines because we have so many high power cards. I guess we could throw Red Hulk in place of like Giganto. Most of the time it's going to be more than 14. Maybe over Magneto, a little bit higher base power. But otherwise, I think it works really well. for what it is. I've had like a 70% win rate so far, and it's showing no signs of stopping. All right, so Gam Lab triggers this turn. I really don't want to waste the loot cage on a 12 power card, so I'm going to just play loot cage mid. I'd rather keep the value for whenever we resummon our cards back onto the board. All right, so they go Black Knight on us, and so they're looking to discard something big. I like the Black Knight line, but it's so like inconsistent later on in the game that I much prefer just cutting it entirely. Like, it's so oppressive whenever your opponent gets it, because then they get like a 14 power 4 cost that they can use on 5. But with the way that our board develops now, I honestly don't think we need it. I'm gonna go with a... We have Lady Sif in deck, but we also have Hela in deck. So if I went with like a Blade and a Jubilee, if we pulled Hela, be the 1 out of 4, we really wouldn't resummon that much. We could also do the Hell Cow, but my issue with that is that it takes away our blink line, or our blink avenue, or if we don't pull Hela here. We're gonna trust. We're just gonna put our faith in the Hell Cow. Let's go ahead and send the Blade. Blink is now gone. I guess with Blade, we would have lost the Blink anyways. Wait, no, I should have activated. Oh, I messed up. Oh no, I meant to activate Hell Cow before Jubilee. Oof. All right, well, it is what it is. All right, the Blade's gone. Now all our cards are gone as well. Woof. We can't play. No. We're just gonna leave this one. All right, next up we have Jay Hensley. The first location is Dream Dimension, and so on turn 5, we don't really rely on a 5 cost on turn 5, so it's all fine. We don't get derailed by Dream Dimension. Mirage is going to copy our Loot Cage. Perfectly fine. I'm fine with that. We have Loot Cage for 3, of course. Our Black Cat is now in the discard mix. We could probably honestly snap. We have enough consistency on forcing and getting... Oh, it's an Arsham deck. I didn't realize how much I rely on the deck tracker to look at this number right here. And when it's gone, how much it hurts. So we get a copy of their Death. Not awful. Let's go Loot Cage into mid. Okay, Storm's fine. That was actually built into their deck. Interesting. Curious what kind of Arsham shenanigans they're running. I feel like we have to go Jubilee. There's a chance that we pull Hela, but otherwise we've been sitting dead here. And so maybe we pull out Hell Cow. Maybe the Lady Sif to get like Death into the game. We can see. We could flip into Infinite, or we could pull into Infinite. Later we could flip into Infinite as well. So a lot of good lines. Hell Cow, beautiful. It maybe isn't super great for this mid lane, but otherwise very, very beautiful. We can't really do much this turn. If we play Blade, then Blink is going to rotate the Blade. I guess it'll just be a handful of cards. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and play Blade this turn. Get rid of the Magneto. And then if we don't draw Hela, we'll blink it next turn. And we'll activate the Hell Cow before we play our cards. Because that's something that you need to do. Oof. All right. Blade coming down. Magneto going away. Let's see what we top deck here. Hela. That is very beautiful because every single one of these cards is great. We just have to dodge an Eliath. I'm going to throw Hela over to the left. My gut tells me if they go Eliath, they put it into Daily Bugle, kind of doing a juke out with the Warpath line. Okay, Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin's fine. Unfortunate Arisham finish. But we have Death going away. The Blink going away, so we increase our right lane guaranteed as well. And so Magneto in mid pulls their Agent Coulson over. We already win that lane. We already win right. Now it's just going to add some insult to injury. We flip into Lady Sif. Not going to resummon that card, but it's fine. We have the Death, and then Black Cat still in the pipeline. We will gladly take the 2 cubes. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Copycat. The first location is Kamartaj. Not super big for Hellcow anymore. Big for their Silver Sable, though. Hopefully we get Luke Cage down and onto the board at some point in this game. Otherwise, this card is pretty hurt. 16 power Infinite feels unfortunate. We don't have anything to play. Oh no, we don't have anything to play into the Hotel Inferno. We lose our Magneto, and oh, there goes Luke Cage. Death is now 6, and so a Lady Sif isn't a guaranteed. Ooh, but they were destroyed, but they're not gone forever. We have Valley of the Hand. That's going to bring back our Luke Cage. It's going to bring back our Magneto as well. Unless they can change that location. Beautiful. Let's see what else they have up their sleeve. Lady Sif is going to be a no-go for us. We could do Blink. Actually, no, the Hellcow here. I don't want to mess with anything. I don't want to accidentally discard the Hela. So 1 out of 3 for Lady Sif. I'm just going to go Blade and call it good. It's going to be a total of 4 discards, which feels unfortunate, but it is what it is. Blue Marvel comes down. Marvelous, because we are about to see Magneto, Luke Cage. We were graced by the Valley of the Hand this game. Let's see. So Patriot, Blue Marvel. Not seeing anything that's too marvelous for him here. Every single one of these is great. So let's go Hellcow activate. Let's go Hela in the right. That pushes us just up over that ledge in the right lane. Juggernaut is fine. That is not what you wanted to see come down. Blade gets our Blink and our Infinite. So beautiful Infinite getting rid of there. Infinite mid, huge. Lady Sif also decent at 5 power. Black Cat, and then Blink to rotate the Blade into, unfortunately, the Jubilee. We will still take the clean sweep. We only had to play, what, 3 cards there? We got lucky with this right lane, but I still think, regardless, we would have been just fine, even if Valley of the Hand had not popped up. We'll take the 2. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Hyper Time. Let's go with the Blade discard. We got the puppy. We have the Blade discard, getting rid of our guy Giganto. I almost called him Giganto. I don't know why. They have Human Torch, so if they hit an incredible high roll, not much we can do to contest it. But that's fine. We do have Hela in hand, but the great thing about this deck is that none of our discards are random. Corvus is no longer that threat of, is it going to discard our Hela and then we retreat or not? Because we have the Hellcow. Of course, you have to stage early, but with this deck, you're not going to be playing Corvus on 6 anyways. And so if you don't have it before then, it doesn't really change anything. We can play it anytime on 4 or 5 and just have a beautiful time doing it. With them running Destroy deck, X23, Human Torch, Squirrels. Maybe it's just a Destroy 8? Phoenix Force I could see, but now it's sporadic of what it's going to be. And they did get the free 6-cost card from the Raft as well. Still not going to go... Woof, this is tough. Still not going to go anything on 4. They do get Phoenix Force. Don't hit the Human Torch. Don't hit the Human Torch. It hit the Human Torch. This is the 50-50. 50-50 flip. Good on them. Now, Infinite comes into the mix as well. We're just going to go Blink and see what we rotate into. Best case scenario, we flip into Jubilee, which pulls out our Hellcow. But I do think we're cooked. Or you might say torched.
Victory.
All right, next up we have WINDFLY. We do have our Blade, we have Black Cat, Blink, Hellcow, all beautiful cards for that consistency's sake. Amazing. Let's go ahead and go Blade. We get rid of our Infinite. Also amazing. And then they go Ravona on 2. So maybe a Mr. Negative deck. Can we outshine a Mr. Negative deck? I think it becomes a little tough, but I think we can do it. We both skip on 3, going into 4. Ooh, Bar Sinister is not great for us. Let's go Hellcow into Savage Land. Then we can always skip on 5. Ooh, Wong. Not the direction that I would think they would want to go. So we're going to skip here. We're going to skip here into the Hellcow activate with Hela coming down on turn number 6. Oh, that is a big Black Panther lane. Oh my goodness. Do we ever beat 42 power? Hellcow discard into a Hela resummon. 42 power here is significant. You could potentially do it if it just lands perfectly with like a 20 and a 14 and Black Cat popping over there. You gotta get lucky, but let's see. Wait, what a last turn. I think we win, even with like the unfortunate awfulness that this was. So Blink coming down. Hela, we need something resummoned in the right. Blink, Magneto pulls Wong over. That'll do it. That sets him in, even if everything else resummons over in the left, unfortunately. We did get lucky with the Magneto, but that's only because we got unlucky with things resummoning in the right. We'll take the 2, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and end the video. We've had an insane run. I expect to see a lot of Hela, Hellcow discard, Apocalypse, Hellcow discard, and some people might start trying to work in Swordmaster, but I don't see anything that just jumps out at me that is screaming fantastic value. So we're going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I will be back a little bit later this evening with an Aranya deck. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.